Hey there guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Less Than Average Gaming and welcome back to another Let's Play Badly episode. Today we are taking a look at it's basically Hearthstone cross Dungeons and Dragons. It's basically a card game slash roguelike in which essentially you crawl through dungeons getting different cards along the way, and you basically have to beat up monsters and stuff with different attacks, and it's actually very cool. It's actually currently very popular. And basically, I think it's like the 5th or 6th most streamed game on Twitch, so you've probably already heard of this one. But I did start playing it the other day, and it is very fun. I would say it's very similar to a Hearthstone dungeon run, which is one of the things that I like most about the new Hearthstone expansion. It's just a quick, easy, fun way to jump into the game and just have a good time by yourself. You don't have to worry about having a perfect meta deck or anything like that, spending too much money. Anyway, let us jump into the Spire and start slaying some beasties. Okay, so initially you'll have the one character unlocked, which is the Ironclad. Basically, he's a warrior kind of soldiery guy with pretty basic attacks. And as you progress through more runs, you'll unlock another hero, the Silent, who is actually one of my favorites at the moment, or my favorite at the moment, considering there's only 2 available in this early access. And there's going to be a 3rd one eventually, and there probably will be more, but yeah, we've got 2 for the time being. We're going to pick the Silent, because that is one I prefer, and I always think it's a good fun, especially once you get lots of poisons and stuff rolling. So if you can manage to get a couple of poisons rolling, this should be pretty fun. Another try. This is the Exordium. Talk. Choose. Remove a card from your deck. Enemies in the next 3 combats will have 1 HP. Obtain a curse, transform 2 cards, lose your starting relic, obtain a random boss relic, which we don't really want to do. The relics are little buffs and bonuses that you get through defeating bosses and opening chests and stuff like that. Basically, you'll unlock little advantages that you can get. Not really sure we want to remove a card. Oh, we could remove a card from our deck. We don't really need that many. Oh, let's take out a block. We'll leave. So basically this is the screen you're going to be set up on once you open your game. Basically you get to pick a starting room. You got to try and pick the best route possible as you go through the dungeon while getting up to the final boss, which is here. And then you go into the next act and then the next. I think there's 3 acts in total. I've made it up to a couple of way through the 2nd act, so not too far. I only started playing this pretty recently, so we'll just pick the left room and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got a couple of slimes here. Basically, you can see what's called as the intent of the enemy based over what is the icon above their head. So this little guy here is going to attack us here. It says aggressive. He intends to attack you for 3 damage, and this guy is going to use a negative effect on us. Basically, pretty simple. You have to use your defensive cards when they're going to attack you and try and kill them as quickly as you can. So we're going to use a defend card to block this guy, and then we don't really have to worry about anything else, and we're going to deal our damage to the other slime because he isn't actually going to attack us. And apparently we have to sneeze again. Oh jeez. No, we're fine. Okay. So, in this particular circumstance, we don't actually have any defensive cards, so we do actually want to try and weaken his attack with the neutralize ability. But turns out we can actually just kill him there, so that's not a big deal. I have to sneeze again. Nope, it passed, okay. So yeah, sometimes they're pretty basic, nothing too challenging here, especially in the first couple of rounds. You don't really have to worry about too much, just trying to get your deck rolling, try and get good cards sorted, and yeah, you do end up, as you will see in a couple of seconds once we beat this guy. Alright, we get some loot. So we get some gold, some strength potion, and we get to add a card to our deck. And you can kinda build around which deck or style you want to go for. So in this case, we've used dodge and roll before, and I like dodge and roll. It's sort of a pay for something now and get something next turn as well, so a little bit of value on the roll there. It's not too bad. Okay, we got the cultist here. He's not actually going to attack us, so we don't have to worry about defending. So we basically can just hit him with a couple of strikes. And as you end your turn, every card that you didn't use goes into your discard pile, which is here. And once you run out of cards in your draw pile, which you draw 5 cards each turn, as it says here, at the start of your turn, 5 cards are drawn from here. So once you run out of cards in your draw pile, your discard pile gets shuffled back into your draw pile. So it looks like he's going to hit us for 6, which we can neutralize, and then we can block for 4 and 4 next turn, and still hit him for a little bit, and we will end our turn. It's just a game that's simple, it's fun, and there's an awful... I say it's simple, there's an awful lot of strategy here. Like, it can just seem like you're doing sort of random things with your deck, but these games are always more in-depth than you give them credit for. On the surface, it just feels like, oh, you're collecting cards, but you want to basically refine your deck in such a way that you don't have too many cards, but every card you have is powerful enough to actually get the job done. Otherwise, you have useless cards and then you end up getting beaten, which isn't ideal, obviously. We made short work of that guy there. Okay, so our spoils of war for that one is we can pick Fletchettes, Outmaneuver, or Terror, which is Exhaust. Basically, Exhaust removes the card until your next combat, so basically you only get to use that once. That does actually apply basically vulnerable for the entire fight, which could be pretty good. Basically means they take 50% more damage, which makes our attacks deal 9 instead of the 6 basic attack they do. Deal 4 damage for each skill in your hand, or outmaneuver. It's hard to use something like this, especially when you don't really know what they're going to do next turn. We can go Terror and just get rid of it later on if we want. You can always skip cards. You don't actually have to pick up a card whenever you get one. As you walk into the room, you hear a gurgling and grinding of metals. Before you was a slime-like creature that ate too much scrap for its own good. From the center of the creature, you can see glints of strange light, perhaps something magical. It looks like you can get some treasure if you reach inside its opening. However, the acid-sharp objects may hurt. So if we lose 3 HP, we have 20% fight, or 25% chance to find a relic, which we'll take those odds. After rummaging through the metal and burning acid, you finally grab a hold of a relic and yank it out. You pull out damage but rewarded. Whenever you play a power, a random card in your hand costs 0 for this turn. That's not too bad. Not too bad, especially when we get some powers rolling. Should we go to the merchant or... yeah, let's go to the merchant. We'll try and get a power so we can make use of our new relic. Okay. Poison Stab is one that we're actually looking for. It's pretty good. But the power on Noxious Flames, at the start of your turn, apply 2 poison to all enemies. We can actually get both of these, I think. No, we can't get both of them. Unfortunately, we will have to leave the Poison Stab there for the time being. No big deal. I'm sure we'll pick up some of those along the way. We didn't manage to pick up any of those last time, but I'm sure we'll pick up some along the way, so it's no big deal. Okay, so he's going to deal 12 damage to us. We do want to use Noxious Fumes before we do anything. Looks like it made Strike cost 0. That's pretty good. We'll neutralize him. No real reason to take that damage there, so we'll just double block and attack him. Because then he can't get through, and at the next turn we're going to start putting poison on him, so not too bad. We hit him with the Terror, and then hit him for 18. We kind of want to block, so we'll play Terror. Block twice. He's going to attack us for 2, but you know, you can't always block all the damage they do, so there isn't an awful lot of things we could do about that, unfortunately. Okay, we want to weaken him again, basically so it makes it easier for us to defend against his attack. We'll defend, we'll dodge and roll, and we will attack him again. It's not too bad, actually, not too bad. I wonder if vulnerable actually makes him take more damage from poison. Not sure. And the longer the fight goes, the more Noxious Fumes actually makes a big enough difference, because eventually they'll get up to 6, 10, 15 stacks of poison if the fight goes long enough, and then they'll start doing some serious damage to them. He's going to attack us for 12, but we already still have 4 armor, so we'll just hit the... just hit a strike on him. No big deal. And yeah, eventually the poison will wear him down. That's why the Poison Blade was actually a pretty cool one. If you can defend for long enough, the poison will just take care of him on its own, so there's no big deal. And yeah, we got him pretty easily there. Okay, Poison Blade? Nope. Backflip's a good card. Nice defensive card that helps you draw more cards, basically lets you cycle through your deck faster, which we always like. Let's take on an Elite here. I think we're looking good. Take on an Elite. Okay, this looks promising. Negates 1 debuff. Tends to attack for 8. Right, so that's 24. Gonna hit us for quite a lot here. So we can actually defend for 18. Probably want to do that. We'll discard Terror for the time being, since we're not going to use it anyway, so we don't really need it. We do want to try and find our Poison Gas card as fast as we can, so we can get Poison ticking on all these guys. That's sort of basically one of the things that you want. If you're coming up against multiple enemies, you want to get that Poison rolling. Make one of our cards cost 0. Strike costs 0. So we don't actually have to defend that hard. Here, so we'll dodge and roll, defend, and we will get the strike off. Alright, now the poison's going to start rolling in, so we're going to start dealing a pretty decent amount of damage to these guys, so that's going to be pretty handy for us. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, dazed. Ooh, plenty of those cards just got chucked in there. Alright, so he intends to attack us for 16. Which we can turn, which we can turn into 15 and block all of it, basically. Backflip to draw 2 cards. We drew the Dazed card. If this card is in your hand at the end of the turn, it is exhausted. Exhausted cards are removed from your deck until the end of combat. Okay, so that's not too bad. Let's just block once. That's 14. And we will attack guy at the front. Okay, now the poison's going to start rolling in because they actually negated our debuffs, which is a little bit of a dick move on their behalf, but they're not going to exactly make it easy for you, so it's not like they're not going to try and kill you. We should just defend. Defend, and damage. Not a lot we could do there. Going to take a little bit of damage from them regardless of what we did there, so let's drink the Strength Potion. No? Alright, let's drink the Strength Potion. We don't actually have to... we should still probably dodge and roll, but we might just apply the... I don't really need it on this one. Let's just apply the dodge and roll. Attack him twice. This guy's going to go down here, which is actually pretty handy. At least we've got our 4 block up the next time for the next fight. Alright, more dazed. It's not great. My hand's just going to be dazed. Not amazing. So he's going to attack us for a lot here. We can actually discard these. Alright, let's chuck this. Get rid of that. Apply the vulnerable to that guy. I guess maybe it should have been this guy because he's got more health, but... much of a muchness really. There wasn't a big difference between the two. Okay, so we want to draw first. Okay. We'll neutralize his attack somewhat. Now we have enough armor and we can just strike. Should we split our damage or should we target one first? Probably, yeah. At least that way we'll actually kill one. We'll get this guy off the field with the poison. Not too bad. And the next turn we should be able to kill this guy. We should have enough damage, so a couple of strikes. And he's dead. Pretty good fight there on the Elite, actually. It was a little bit tricky, but we managed to get the job done. Okay, upon pickup, choose and upgrade a skill. Cool. Dodge and roll upgrade would be pretty good. Cost 0, not a massive upgrade. Block 8, draw 2 cards. Let's just get dodge and roll. Dodge and roll, one of my favorite cards at the moment. Not too bad. Do we want to get the block? Oh, add a random skill to your hand. It costs 0. Exhaust. Block 5, 2 cards. Alright, we'll go backflip again. We kind of want to get some more damage. We want to get some more poison rolling on here. Because at the moment we don't have an awful lot of ways to deal max damage, but it's not going to be too bad. Strike big boy at the back there. So not going to take any damage here, but... Oh, and we'll probably end up getting this guy killed as well. Maybe we draw our poison. We did draw our poison. Very handy. Makes backflip free. Dodge and roll costs 1. 6 plus 9 is 15, so we want to block again, draw a couple of cards, and we'll end our turn. Not an awful lot you can do sometimes. Sometimes you just have to let them attack. There's not an awful lot you can do. Sometimes you just got to let the dodge go through, let the attack go through. Alright, so we'll backflip to draw a couple of cards. We'll get the neutralize on the big boy here, and we will kill him. And we'll dodge and roll for next turn. At least that way we'll have a little bit of armor for next turn, just in case he decides to attack us, which he won't. I know he is going to attack us, which is fine. But we can hit him for 18 plus 3. It'd be unnecessary damage. Yeah, we don't really need to take the damage unnecessarily there. We're trying to minimize it as much as we can. We'll backflip to draw a couple of cards. Neutralize and strike, and he's dead. Pretty good. Pretty good. Gold, dexterity. I'll get this slice. 5 damage for nothing's pretty handy. Sorry to cut the episode short like this, guys. It is a little bit of a bummer, I do know, but this would have been a half-an-hour video otherwise. Part 2 will be up very soon, though, so thank you very much for watching. This has been Luke from Less Than Average Gaming, and I hope you guys have an above-average day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye! Somebody once told me the world